Hey guys, in this video I'll be showing you and giving tips and tricks for all the new building pieces, furniture and other items related to your base or house that have been added to the game with the Hearth and Home update. I'll be going over every single new thing that has been added, and I'll include timestamps in the description for if you're looking for specific items. And yeah, let's not waste time and get right into it. So let's start off with the new furniture and items, and then afterwards we'll dive into the building pieces. The first thing that I think is pretty cool is the cartography table. Basically, this is a large table with a map layout on it. If you're playing solo, then it pretty much does nothing for you and you'll just get this message. But if you're playing with friends, then you can use the record discoveries option and share your map layout with them. This basically means that you'll copy all the markers, text and points of interest on your own map and make it possible for your friends to see all of this on their map. All they have to do is press the read map option. It's pretty straightforward and an efficient way to share useful intel with the other players on your server. Next up we have the two new chests that have been added. One of them is the treasure chest and the other is the black metal chest. The treasure chest is purely here for aesthetics, for the looks basically, because yeah, you can't interact with it. However, the black metal chest has some functionality because you can in fact use it for storing stuff, and it looks pretty cool as well. The black metal chest provides you with a whopping 32 slots, which means that this chest gives you more storage than the chests that were in the game before Hearth and Home and is now the biggest chest in the game. So for all the people that will need more storage, go for the black metal chest. Then we have the coin pile and the coin stack items that were also shown in the Hearth and Home sneak peeks. The coin pile is made out of 99 coins, and for the big ballers we have the coin stack, which requires 999 coins to make. These are both just essentially made for storing your coins and flexing your wealth at the same time. In a similar nature, we also have other options for stacking resources now. Hearth and Home adds a fine wood stack, a core wood stack and a coal stack. And all of these will require 50 of the respective resource to build, and again can be used to store your wood and coal in an explicit way if you like the aesthetics of these stacks instead of just simply dumping them in a chest. Then we have new upgrades for the cauldron. The cauldron was already an item in the game that you used for making meat bases and food items previously, and now you can upgrade the cauldron all the way to level 4 to unlock more foods. For this you'll have to build the 3 new improvements, which are the butcher's table, the spice rack and the pots and pans. You have to build them close to your cauldron, and I've heard that some players had difficulties with getting this to work and getting your cauldron to maximal level. But if you just hang the pots on an adjacent wall and hang the spice rack from above, for example from a roof, a deck or a hanging tile, then it should work for you. When you place the improvements near the cauldron, you'll see that your cauldron is now a higher level and thus you'll have access to new foods. For example, with a higher level cauldron you can now make ice cream, and who doesn't want ice cream, right?
Ice cream!
Then we have the stone oven, which is also a new item that looks kinda cool. In Hearth and Home you can use this now to bake bread and pies. First you'll have to add some wood to it, and then afterwards add the unbaked pie or the bread dough that you want to bake. In this case I'm adding bread dough to it. Wait a few seconds. And you can eat some delicious bread now. It works like the other cooking systems in the game, by the way, so you need to keep an eye on the oven, because if you let it bake for too long, your bread will be burned. And nobody wants burnt bread. We also now have the iron cooking station, which is an upgrade of the original cooking station that was in the base game. The iron cooking station allows you to cook up to 5 things at the same time and is required for some types of meats. You can actually stack a few of these to get as many iron cooking stations going above the same set of campfires. This can greatly reduce the number of campfires that you need to make to power your iron cooking stations. This is a trick that also worked with the original cooking stations, and it's good to see that it still works with these new cooking stations. Then we have the Obliterator. I already made a video about this item explaining everything you need to know about it, so check that out. In my opinion, this is the most useful item they've added, as it can destroy everything you don't need and clean up your inventory. And even though it's kinda hard, with the right setup you can even use it as a weapon of mass destruction and kill enemies instantly. Now let's go to the most important furniture piece that Hearth and Home adds. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you don't have at least one of these in your base or house, then what are you doing with your life? You can add wood to it in the backside of the tub and it will steam the water for you and you'll get bubbles. You can also even sit in it and it will give you a comfort level while doing so, and it also gives you the very annoying wet debuff. What more can you possibly want? And some more things to sit on include the Darkwood chair and the stone throne. The Darkwood chair has a pretty distinctive look, and the stone throne definitely is a display of power with its huge size and elegant look. You also now have a sitting log, which is just a big wooden log with some carved out sitting spots. And all of these sitting options will also give you more comfort levels if you decide to use them in your base. Now, what would be a useful thing to combine all these things that you can sit on with? I know, tables! Hearth and Home adds a round table and a long heavy table, and I especially like the look of the massive long heavy table because yeah, it definitely will assert dominance in whatever room you place it. And to spice things up, you can decorate these tables with anything you want to. Also, both of these tables will give you 2 comfort levels, unlike the normal table that was already in the game, which only gave you 1 comfort level. So that's also pretty useful to know. Moving on, a pretty cool looking thing that they added are the crystal walls. Basically a see-through type of wall object. You can't stack them or actually make a wall with them, ironically enough. Even if you try to clip 2 crystal walls on each other, it won't work. They will give you a comfort level though if you place them in your base, and you can use them as windows. So there's that at least. You can also stack them like this if you don't mind seeing other objects inside of them. Then we have these 2 new banners, basically just a different color scheme in comparison to the banners that were already in the game. If you like the blue, red and white or white and blue color schemes and you want more banners in your base, then yeah, these banners were definitely meant for you. Then we have the new blue burning torch. This one looks really good actually, especially when it's night in the game. These type of blue flames can definitely be used to give a whole different vibe to a base or for example a garden. So that was it for all the furniture and base related items that have been added in Hearth and Home. Now let's move on to the building pieces. For the building pieces, we can basically separate these into 3 different categories. The first category consists out of basically new variations of the wood building pieces that are in the game. So let's start off with this category. You now have a inverted version of the 26 degrees and the 45 degrees wood walls on the left. It's just the same object essentially, only like its name says, it's inverted. So that can definitely open up some extra possibilities for you when you're building. Then they have also added 2 types of new log beams. Both of them are diagonal log beams with a 26 degrees and a 45 degree option as well. These are really similar to the wood beams that are already in the game, just a different skin essentially, so nothing really new there or any groundbreaking tricks to give you there. We also have the new wood shutter, which is like a mini door, and it's actually quite useful because you can use this now to, for example, make cupboards or like small closets or really anything that requires a small movable barrier. I think this building piece will definitely allow people to give more detail to their future builds and bases. And that was it for the first category. So let's now move on to the second category of building pieces, which is all the new Darkwood stuff that has been added to the game. This is basically a new skin theme for all the wood pieces that are already in the game. It's a more toned and darker type of wood, and some pieces in this skin line will be a mix of normal looking wood and dark wood. So the big difference for all these pieces is that it will require you to have the new tar resource to build them. Tar is a resource that you now can get in the plains. Just make sure that the plains you visit to get tar has not been discovered before and you'll be good and you'll find tar quite easily. But outside of that, in terms of functionality, they are very similar to the wood pieces that are already in the game. This is really just for aesthetics, and if you like a darker type of wood or maybe an edgier look, then you will like these pieces most likely. So let's start off with the best looking dark wood piece in my opinion, which is the gate. The gate has a good looking mix of wood and it's a bigger gate than what we are used to in this game. This gate will definitely be a good fit for the bigger types of bases, or if you really want to go overboard and try to make something as grandiose as possible. Then we have all the Darkwood roof pieces. You have the 26 degree versions here as well for a flatter type of surface, and also the familiar 45 degree versions are back again as well. It's really the same story with the roof corner pieces. You have the 26 degree option and the 45 degree option here in the Darkwood theme. And now you can also make vertical and horizontal Darkwood beams with a 2 meter and a 4 meter option. These type of beams are actually really useful when you're building a base from scratch, because you can combine them to lay out a nice foundation for your base. The new Darkwood pieces also include an arch building piece and the Darkwood divider, which is a rather unique building piece when compared to the other stuff in the game. These 2 pieces look quite fancy and they do definitely open up the possibilities for you in terms of making new designs. Then we have these 2 cool decorative Darkwood pieces. The one on the left is the Raven adornment and the one on the right is the Wolf adornment. You can place them on the ground, on the wall, or even place them vertically against a roof piece. There are some options there for you in regards to how you want to present these decorations. And finally, we have the third category of building pieces that were added, which are the cage floors and walls. Now, I think the most obvious usage of these type of building pieces is for making prisons, as they really have that aesthetic going for them. So you can finally make your own prison system in Valheim and go completely crazy with that. The quality of these cage walls and floors is also pretty good actually. They are not easily destroyed, as you can see here. After all that beating from all these prisoners, they still have like 60 to 70% of their health left. It's good stuff. So that was it, guys. Those were the tips and tricks and a showcase of every single piece, item, furniture, however you want to call it, related to building that has been added to the game with the Hearth and Home update. I hope you enjoyed. If I missed tips and tricks, then feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll take your comments with me in a future video. Also, let me know what you think of all this stuff that has been added. Does it satisfy you, or did you maybe expect more from this update? I'm really curious to hearing your thoughts, guys. And yeah, if you liked the video, drop a like. And definitely don't forget to subscribe, because I will be making more cool stuff. And if you're really cool, then also put on the bell notifications. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!